Hello, and thanks for tuning into this video. My name is Zach, and I'm a lifelong reader and lover of all things science fiction, fantasy, comics, manga, personal development, and everything in between. Today, I'm just going to share a quick thoughts and vibes that I got from the current book that I finished last night, which is Cradle, Book 8, Wintersteel. So this book is kind of like Uncrowned Part 2. So in the best way that the last book ended on a cliffhanger, this book is the finalization of the Uncrowned King tournament. So, yeah, maybe this could have been one book together if this was maybe traditional, long form fiction. This would have been like an epic Wheel of Time book where it's just one giant battle. But this is, I guess, lit RPG, and I'm reading this in 2025, way after it was published, so I'm not really sure what the publication schedule or the gap between the books were, and if Wight just wanted to, get the first part out, and then he was still developing the second. But the last book ended on a cliffhanger because the tournament wasn't over, and it's called Uncrowned, and we thought we were, going to see the Uncrowned tournament, of course, that's in the title. And then it ends on the cliffhanger. We're not even to the finals yet. And yeah, so this book picks up right where that left off. Not that the last book was bad. I still really enjoyed the last book. It was a great tournament. But this one took everything great about the first tournament and went to 11 because these are the final matches. So if you love a good tournament anime or a manga where it just battles and unlocking the last 110% to push past the enemy, this is delivered in spades. It was really great. A lot of great revelations and I guess power-ups. As you know, if you've read this far in the Cradle series, we're at book 8. So every kind of novel, the characters advance to the next level. And this was really satisfying. I love the ending. I think I really stuck the ending as far as where we are with the characters and where we're going to go next with the looming threat of the Dread Gods now finally coming into, like the forefront of the battles of the Dread Gods are here. They're moving. And I liked where Will Wight was going. So I feel maybe this, again, because I'm reading this after it was fully published, that he, as an author, he's like, okay, what do I do about kind of the Sacred Valley problem? The problem of, okay, why is this such a backwater? So I'm not sure if he knew about this, way back when he was writing the first Unsold, but what he did with Sacred Valley and, it being a, like holding pattern for the Dread Gods was such a great idea. So I'm not sure if it was, designed that way or if it was just like one of those things where sometimes you see it in manga. I'm thinking of Naruto because I'm reading Naruto, that it feels like, the authors are kind of course, evolving as we go with the story, and they're kind of picking up plot points from before and seeing where they could expand on it and how like an idea from the past could fit with where the characters currently are. And the fact that they made in this novel, and Will Wight, genius, I loved it. He made Sacred Valley be the holding ground for the Dread Gods, and the reason why everyone in the Sacred Valley is so weak is because that's the home of the Dread Gods. So they're under the influence of a seal to keep the Dread Gods under power, and that's why Lindon and everyone that we know from his home and Sacred Valley is so weak. Not because that was, the first book and they have to level up once they got out of the valley, as we saw with Yaren when he first meets Yaren. She's like, once you get out of the valley, this is the whole world. And I love that exploration. So I'm very satisfied the way this went, in Uncrowned and now in Wintersteel, that there's kind of this retroactive, mythology to Sacred Valley, and that it is playing such a larger part of this coming conflict with the Dread Gods. Really well done. And so I love that, the looming threat idea that's coming with the Dread Gods and Sacred Valley and how this is all clashing and how it's interwoven with where we currently are with the Akura clan. And now that Yaren and Lindon are just so powered up relative to where they started with at Unsold, and how it just all makes sense. This novel showed us the backstory of Yaren's master, the Sword Sage, and we see, that's what I'm talking about, the Sacred Valley piece, that we see why that, this is always looming in the back of my head. So if now that we know sages are so powerful. Why was the Sword Sage taken down? And again, if not Baldry, the narrator, if Will Wight knew this at the beginning, yeah, hats off. It was just really well done of how he kind of reconciled this. Now that we know what a sage is capable of, being defeated, and yeah, it just all works, and it was all some great backstory to learn about sages. We saw some great character development with Aiton, with Lindon, of course, and Yaren. All three of our main, awesome casts that I love went through some really great things, and yeah, it's just the continuation of the things from the last book. So, Fury, Akura Fury does some really cool things in here, and as we're progressing in the larger Abaddon world, what's happening with the Abaddon and the Dread Gods and the battles between monarchs is now that we're at the monarch level of competing factions. And again, this is all taking place through the tournament. So yeah, I thought it was really, really well done that we have the larger politics of monarchs versus monarchs and the warring factions playing out through their like proxy war of the Uncrowned tournament to establish who the strongest next generation is, as well as the backstory of some of the characters and then the looming threat of the Dread Gods. Because Lindon was but lost in the tournament last book, he's able to go on this side quest and explore the Dread Gods and make that connection while Yaren and the other competitors are battling in the Uncrowned tournament. So it was cool to have the two storylines, and they did mix and mingle here and there. And I thought it was well done that it kept us, once they're together, Lindon and Yaren, of course, our favorite couple, have some great moments, and it was very satisfying there. If anything that I would say as a negative was that side story. I felt the points battle with Lindon was a little like battle for the sake of battle, because what else is Lindon going to do? And he had those moments with he's leading the Akuras on this ship and they're trying to get points. And I just felt that was maybe unnecessary, but at the same time, I guess from a artistic standpoint, but an architect of the story standpoint, what else is he going to do other than train? So at least it gives him training through action, because he's developing this script, or not the script, but I guess the hunger through his remnant arm, and that was cool. So I really love that interaction with Northstrider, and now that we're kind of weaving in the Northstrider Dross Ghostwater constructs and how Northstrider advanced, and then how it ties into Lindon with the hunger, and how now Dross and also the Path of Twin Stars is all relevant now. So yeah, I thought those were the positives. So that one little negative about Lindon's little side story while he's doing something to advance and further himself and learn these skills to compete, because Yaren is over here battling, and the Akuras, Malice, and they're doing everything charity. They're doing everything with the tournament. So Lindon's doing his thing. The tournament people are doing their thing. But Lindon, of course, is always trying to catch up, and, he's feeling left behind. So he's advancing in one way. The tournament people are advancing in other ways. And it was just really satisfying and really well done. I thought all the plot points really intertwined and they all worked, that there was a lot going on in this novel. And it was just fast paced because it's, I guess, similar to like a battle manga, that there is the advancing through the tournament. So there's a lot of structure to the story as we advance from the round of 16 to the round of 8 to the top 4 to the final match, that we knew that this kind of progression through the battles was coming. And some battles are shorter than others, but we are given a lot of breath and time with our main characters, and we get to see Aiton display some power, and Yaren, of course, display some awesome power. And we're given some of those little hints of what's happening with her and her blood shadow, which is really cool. So I thought she developed well, and her character progression is coming along nicely now with the blood shadow and resolving that blood sage, sword sage, and then the hints we saw the last time of manifesting the sword icon. And then at the end, speaking of icons, Lindon and the icon, amazing. I thought that was just it. Sacred Valley, maybe that's why Sacred Valley is my mind, because I just finished this last night. That the Sacred Valley connection to Unsold was so satisfying at the end. It was just great the way that now it's all kind of coming full circle back to Unsold. And I guess one other minor nitpick, this is like totally thing, is Wintersteel, the title of the book, it's like mentioned once in the novel that, yeah, okay, they're mining the Wintersteel from the labyrinth, and that's kind of why they're doing this with the Dread Gods, and then the icon at the end, or the badge. Yeah, I didn't really, did I totally miss this? I don't know. Tell me that Wintersteel, what the importance of Wintersteel was, other than just to give it a name. And Wight didn't want to name this Uncrowned Part 2 or Uncrowned the Finals, but this was Uncrowned Part 2. This was Uncrowned the Final Battles. Really great ride. 5 out of 5 novel for me. Tons of action, tons of character development, and tons of advancing the plot. So we're given a lot of information, a lot of characters. It was just, yeah, another really well done Cradle. I think, yeah, Cradle is really going strong here at book 8, and I'm super excited to continue the series on 9 and onward. So thanks for listening to this random rambling of finishing last night, Cradle book 8, Wintersteel. I had a great time, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. If you have any other recommendations for similar lit RPG, progression RPG novels, I'd love to hear them. I'm thinking about doing Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is, I guess, similar lit RPG, but maybe not cultivation. I'm kind of really into this cultivation world, and I love that Shansha, martial arts world. So if you have anything more in that side of it, where it's action battles, also because I'm reading Naruto, I'd love to hear those. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.